All right. So I guess I'm going to kind of perhaps, hopefully not ramble and hopefully make some sense. I'm on both Twitter and Truth Social. And I just wanted to, both are very much partisan to a degree, and there's no, I guess, there's there's the pro-Trump side, and then there's the anti-Trump side, or maybe even the Trump derangement syndrome side. Nothing, I think, upsets a person more in a relationship than not being heard and being told what to do without discussion. That kind of angers the human spirit. And probably calls. Oh, there we go. I'm going to bring Darren along and see if he wants to come in. If he does, I can bring him in. But the division within our land and also within the West, there seems to be a large division as well. The behavior that has happened, kind of amazing what's been going on, and there is a pro-Biden side, best president of our lives. Now, Darren doesn't necessarily believe that. And look, I don't know if he's the worst or the best, but things are really going really bad. And people have said that it's, we're still getting over this this virus. And yeah, and again, there's a lot of information out there that seems to be, just kind of, like it's censored, and then the mainstream media, the manner in which they handle it, uh, they often will get things wrong or be incorrect, and they won't correct themselves, and they will not correct their behavior. And I've never seen anything like that before. And I've said this before. I think that throughout history, um, people in power have egos, and that motivates people more than anything else is their ego, and that's why they follow certain trends and stuff like that. And let's get Darren on the horn here. Darren, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm just questioning what really divides us as a country, as a nation, even as a world. I mean, it seems like censorship perhaps is all over the world, and primarily in the West. And the two main reasons that people say they censor is misinformation, what they would consider a conspiracy theory, and what they would consider to be hate speech. And if it's primarily would be hate speech against what they would consider marginalized groups or a protected class or the disenfranchised. If you say something about them, or if the person involved happens to be part of that group, you can probably more than likely be censored.
I wonder how much of it has to do with just the fact that we have cell phones and so much information now. I mean, are we really any more divided when you go out and about? I mean, people are fired up more because they've been online and they've made their sides and their choices. But when I see people out and about, it doesn't seem to be that way. I don't know.
I'm wondering if the people online are if the people online are just are much more politically motivated and are much more, they just see their side. I'm just wondering if that is the case. And look,
Yeah, could be. We could just be getting used to, you know, YouTube and algorithms, and as long as people start looking at both sides on the stuff that they're looking at, because you'll find both sides on any subject. And
Yeah.
I think we just got tricked down rabbit holes of hate. And there's plenty to hate. I mean, there's a million things to hate Trump for, and there's a million things to hate Biden for. If you want to hate somebody, you'll find a reason. There's always a reason to hate. You'll always find it. If you want to hate something, you will find it. Anyways, I have to go. I just wanted to say hi.
Well, hello, Darren, and welcome you. And you're right. There are plenty of reasons to hate, and it's easy to piss somebody off. All you got to do is give your opinion, and you'll piss somebody off.
That's true.
You'll piss somebody off.
That's
I mean,
true.
and it doesn't matter if you think your opinion has logic and reason to it. Some like it. You know, Same thing if somebody doesn't like a movie or doesn't like this or that.
There'll always be something to get mad about too. I mean, there'll always be something horrible in the world. We'll
Absolutely.
never make the world perfect. I mean, if there's 4 pedophiles on the whole planet, we can find all 4 of them and put them all over YouTube, and
Yeah.
everybody would be up in arms.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. It all. You never know how much there is of anything in the world. There's always been creeps and mean horrible things. It's hard to tell. It's hard to judge. It's hard to calculate. With the internet, it seems like it's all over. But it might not be. I don't know.
Well, again, you know what I mean? We saw things that we'd never seen before.
Yeah.
And again, we saw news coverage of a protest that turned violent. I mean, what happened in Portland was unprecedented in your or my lifetime, where a mayor gave in to,
What
to the,
about Seattle? What did they
yeah,
let them take
yeah,
make a city? And what the hell was that?
yeah.
What was that? I gotta go. Damn it! I wanted to talk to you longer. I'm sorry.
Come back again. Come back
Okay.
again.
Yeah. If you're still on, I'll get back on.
You're welcome back anytime. Yeah, yeah. So, yeah. And, people have changed over the years, their opinions and the like. I mean, for example, um, the 1994, I remember when Trump was railing on Biden about the 1994 crime bill, but that had bipartisan support, and it was very popular uh, with just about every demographic. It had high support in all demographics. They wanted these people off the streets, and we may see maybe a repeat of that. The three strike law. I mean, once you break the law 3 times, I mean, how many times should you be able to do that? And it was one of this prison reform stuff that Trump put forward. I don't know how many people kind of agreed with that or didn't agree with that, but again, um, how many times can an individual break the law, and you give them a chance? But there is a part of me too that thinks human beings deserve a chance, and that forgiveness should happen. So I I feel I feel different on certain ways. Um, and again, I have an ego. Other people have egos, and there are things within this country, the type of reckoning that happened I had never seen before, and I observed belligerence from people that I knew, and it was almost like they were indoctrinated into a cult, like they were indoctrinated into a religious faith. These 2020 riots and the people that supported them were very myopic and very narrow-minded within their views. And there's still, I guess, kind of no realization on the effects of that and the behavior that I observed. And it still kind of strikes me to this day. It resonates with me to this day. The behavior and the fact that the establishment went right along with that. And now we have, we have the way in which we are handling this virus. And I guess there's no discussion on how we are to handle it. No open debate. They call you a quack, and then sometimes the quack is right, and that really probably makes a person rather like upset, because like again, where this disease originated from, how it came about, was at one time it was considered a conspiracy theory. Now it's a reality. And I've said this before, but when one party says Antifa isn't a thing, it's just an idea, it's really playing with words. I mean, it's almost like J. Edgar Hoover when he said the mafia didn't exist. You're kind of pulling a J. Edgar Hoover. You're doing the same thing. And I don't know, do people want to talk and discuss and have an open and honest conversation and hear my opinions as I have yours? And are we not divided because we're talking at each other, not to each other? The only time we talk at each other is like when we're both when either side is protesting, and sometimes the one side gets violent. They get violent on the street. I think they're probably allowed to get together on social media to attack you. To stop you from speaking. And then they have the college campuses as well to stop you from speaking, to be violent against you because the words that you speak are too offensive. They don't necessarily consider you a human being, deserving of rights and deserving of due process. That your words are too dangerous to be heard. That what you're saying is, can bring about civil war or Armageddon. There's not necessarily a comparative analysis on the words that have been said, and basically a comparative analysis of violence and riots. I guess there was, January 6th, and then they had again the the BLM Antifa riots that kind of ravished our cities, but they say that when they went to the Capitol, it was far worse. That one day was far worse, and I guess it was the late spring and summer of the riots are not necessarily comparable, and that is what the mainstream media says. They say that it is not comparable. They also tell us to wear a mask. In California, where I am, mask mandates may come back, and you are forced to get, to get a medical procedure. And if you don't, you can be economically hurt. If you say or do something maybe by accident. It can be misconstrued, and you can be also economically damaged. You are often defined by your outliers. And I would say conservatives are often defined as their outliers. And the left, well, their outliers are out in the open. BLM, that one of the heads said that they were trained Marxists, and nothing is really said about that, or they kind of scoff about that. But they'll call you a fascist or you a Confederate, and they'll smear you, and they'll smear law enforcement. If you dare speak up, if you ask for any kind of fundamental due process, and is there a right to be forgiven? You know, any type of rehabilitation, whether you're on drugs or on alcohol, there is a point of grace where people can be saved and they could be rehabilitated. But I don't think we go with that with regards to conservatives, or if you've been accused of being a racist. There is no forgiveness. It is only punishment. That's what it seems to me. And a person, you know, if you don't have their correct view, they don't want to talk to you. They want to do you harm, and they want to punish you. In my opinion, is what are you going to do? This is primarily an economic war. And for whatever reason and how they got it, they have the gold. They have the means of production. And they can siphon off. They can siphon off your means of income. And they have done that to people that they disagree with. Isn't that a form of kind of terrorism and a form of against freedom of speech and again, due process? Antifa, I mean, the Proud Boys, they were defined by their outliers and defamed. Not saying that they were a perfect group, but there seems to be strong evidence that the Proud Boys were primarily a response to Antifa. No Antifa, no Proud Boys. And I hear, you know, you see these memes about World War II, you know, that they were the original Antifa fighting the fascists. I kind of want, you know, I often remind them that the same people, many of the same people who fought in fascism in World War II, fought communism in Korea. And they would never stand by the degenerates of Antifa. And we're believing that these people are noble, these people who block traffic, break your window. They've done, I mean, like, I've seen the videos where they have really hurt people that were like not doing anything. There's a guy kicked in the head by Keith Love. And they have no empathy for you. If you get harmed by street crime, they have no empathy for you. And that's what it seems to me. And empathy is a two-way street. Due process is a two-way street. Anyway, this has been Brian with Transparency and Merit. Like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Thank you for listening.